Here's a look at the mighty Mississippi River, which separates the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Now, just a few blocks west of the Mississippi sits Target Field, where tonight the Yankees and the Minnesota Twins will meet in the middle game of a 3-game series right here on Pix 11. Hi, everybody. Ken Singleton along with John Flaherty. The Yankees last night played a ball game you wouldn't write home about. They lost 10-1. The Yankees are known for their home run power, but last night, Flash, it was the Twins who turned on the long ball.
Well, it really was. The Twins hit 4 home runs last night. We're going to get a look at all of them. Miguel Sano in the bottom of the first inning, a 2-run shot. Ellsbury is going to run out of room, and the Twins are on their way. Torrey Hunter hits his home run, ties him with the legend Kirby Puckett in franchise history on the home run list. Trevor Plouffe, who's really been carrying the load after the All-Star break, he continues his good run. And then Brian Dozier, the All-Star second baseman, having an amazing year. He just adds on against the Yankees. 10 runs in all, 4 home runs.
Well, here's our pitching matchup for the night for the Minnesota Twins. They're going to send a lefty to the mound. That's Tommy Milone. He's having a good year, 5-2 with a 3.38 ERA. And for the Yankees, it's going to be the veteran CC Sabathia, 4-8, 5.25. But Flash, he's been pitching much better of late.
Yeah, Kenny, his last 2 starts have been really good, and the last one against King Felix and the Seattle Mariners, he really pitched well. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. We know that he does a good job against left-handed hitting. It's the right-handers, and pounding that fastball inside is a place that he needs to improve. We'll see what he can do here in Minnesota. He's thrown the ball well his last 2 times out.
Well, it's been no secret that the Yankee offense has been much better at Yankee Stadium than it has been on the road. Meredith Marakovich, when we come back on Pix 11, we'll talk to manager Joe Girardi about why is that so.
Marakovich. The road has not been particularly kind to the Yankees this season. With last night's loss, they're now 2 games below 500 on the road. And if you take a look at what they do at Yankee Stadium as opposed to on the road, there are some glaring differences. Home runs, one of those categories that definitely sticks out. They have 29 more at home as opposed to on the road. Also, the batting average dramatically different, and pitchers don't seem to be throwing the ball quite as well. Their ERA a little bit higher on the road. I caught up with Joe Girardi to ask him why he thinks the team tends to struggle a little bit more on the road.
I think we're built around our ballpark, obviously, and you know, we've struggled a little bit on the road in some of these bigger ballparks, but you know, I expect us to be better with Jake back and getting Carlos back and having our full lineup.
Couple quick lineup notes. Brett Gardner has the evening off. Chris Young in there against a lefty. Also, a roster move was made earlier today. Nick Goody was called up. Brandon Pinder optioned to AAA. Plenty more to come here on Picks 11. Ken Singleton and John Flaherty coming your way next with lineups. First pitch baseball right here on Picks 11.
Hyundai. Visit the Hyundai Summer Clearance event for incredible deals on the 2015 Hyundai Sonata. By Verizon Fios. Now there's a totally new way to customize your TV. Only from Verizon Fios. By Land Rover. Above and beyond. By Royal Caribbean. The only way to Caribbean is with Royal Caribbean. By Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. More science, less fear. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
Well, here we are at Target Field, middle game of a 3-game series. A beautiful night for baseball here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Another good crowd on hand as the Twins won the opening game of the series, and did they rout the Yankees 10-1. They hit the 4 homers. They also got some excellent pitching from former Yankee Phil Hughes. So tonight, Jacoby Ellsbury and the Yankees will try and get even in this series before the finale tomorrow afternoon here at Target Field. Yes, it is a beautiful, well, make it a night for baseball, and this is Twins territory. And Minneapolis and St. Paul just across the river. And the Twins have yet to take the field. We're going to do the Yankees lineup right now, which is brought to you by Land Rover, Above and Beyond. At the very top of the lineup tonight, Jacoby Ellsbury will lead it off. He's a 300 hitter. He's in center field. Chris Young is in left field. He's hitting .255. Brett Gardner getting the night off. Batting third, Alex Rodriguez. He's a designated hitter. Cleanup hitter tonight, as usual, Mark Teixeira. Followed by Carlos Beltran in right field. Chase Headley will be at third. John Ryan Murphy doing the catching tonight. Brendan Ryan will be at short. And batting ninth and playing second base, Stephen Drew.
That lineup for the New York Yankees looks a little bit different because they're facing a left-handed pitcher who does a great job against left-handed hitting. Tommy Malone starting his warm-up pitches. Look at his numbers on the year. Having a solid year. His 13th game, 5-2, 3.38 ERA. We'll look at our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He's coming off a start that he wants to forget. Only 2 2/3 against Oakland. Gave up 5 earned runs in that outing. And I mentioned he takes care of the lefties. 165 batting average against. So Brett Gardner, Brian McCann take the night off. And he's that one guy in the rotation gets all the run support. 5.32 runs per game for Tommy Milone this year.
Well, there's Milone finishing up his warm-up tosses. We'll take a look at the Twins defense, which is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. In the outfield for the Twins, it's going to be Robinson in left, Hicks in center, and the veteran Torrey Hunter in right field. Escobar at third, Santana at short, Dozier at second. Plouffe moves from third to first tonight, and Kurt Suzuki doing the catching for Tommy Milone. The Yankees trying to even things up. Last night it was Jacoby Ellsbury who drove in the only run for the Yankees. His sacrifice fly in the ninth inning scored Didi Gregorius, and that kept the Yankees from being shut out. They came up on the short end of a 10-1 score. Ellsbury will step in. You saw his batting average at .302. 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in, and he's got 14 stolen bases as well. One half of the table setters, that is Brett Gardner, gets the night off tonight. A good night to have him take the night off against the lefty. He'll be back in the lineup tomorrow afternoon against the right-hander Kyle Gibson. Here's the first pitch of the ball game, and it is a little outside for ball one. Jeff Nelson is calling balls and strikes tonight. Tom Woodring at first base, Corey Blazer at second, and Laz Diaz making the calls at third. Next pitch is fouled off. The count evens up at a ball and a strike.
Well, you see the velocity from Tommy Milone. It's not overwhelming. 87, 88 with the fastball. He will throw a lot of changeups, cutters, and curveballs.
And that pitch is inside, 2-1. Much more comfortable night than it was here in last night's ball game as far as the temperature and humidity is concerned. 86 degrees at game time. Milone deals and misses. It's 3 balls and a strike on Jacoby Ellsbury. Milone, originally a 10th round draft pick of the Washington Nationals out of the University of Southern California. His pitch is hit high in the air towards right field, and actually not too deep in right field as the second baseman Brian Dozier makes the catch, and Ellsbury is retired. 1 up and 1 down. And that'll bring up Chris Young, who has been the scourge of left-handed pitching this year. Young hitting .371 against lefties, as opposed to just .176 against right-handers. Milone deals, and the first pitch is poured in there for a call strike.
You know, Kenny, I thought this was a great night to give Brett Gardner the night off. I mentioned the numbers with Milone against left-handed pitching, but I think all in all, Brett slowed down a little bit lately. Good time to regroup for him tonight. Get Young in there, who's just killing left-handed pitching this year.
1 ball and 1 strike. There are the splits on Chris Young against lefties and righties. That misses. 2 balls and a strike. And when you ask him about it, he really doesn't have an answer. You know, it's just the fact that maybe he sees the ball a little bit better from left-handed pitchers as a right-handed hitter. Next pitch, changeup is swung on and missed, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, there's a changeup. He throws it over 20% of the time. Throw it in a fastball count, you'll get a lot of swings and misses.
Milone is ready with the 2-2 pitch, and it's fouled off. A rocket down the left field side. Now, one thing about Young, he can play all 3 outfield positions. He runs the bases well, fine defender. And the count is full as Milone misses with a pitch downstairs. I mentioned that Milone out of USC, he was the 100th player drafted out of that university. And it's low for ball 4, so a 1-out walk to Chris Young. And the Yankees have their first base runner. University of Southern California has sent the most ball players to the major leagues than any college.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
I would have thought Florida State would be in that conversation.
Florida State's up there, but it's USC, who's had a long and storied history program. Go back to players like Mark McGwire, Tom Seaver, Here's A-Rod. Was 1 for 4 last night. And he'll take the first pitch in there for a call strike. That hit by A-Rod last night was the 3,025th of his career. Next on the all-time list is former Twin Rod Carew. 3,053 hits in his Hall of Fame career. Young with a decent lead at first. Pitch to A-Rod. Slowly hit to the left side. Escobar has it. Goes to Dozier for 1 on the first, and it's an inning-ending double play around the horn. So Alex Rodriguez wraps into a double play. The Yankees do not score in the top half of the first inning, and the Twins are coming to the plate. Lead it off for the Minnesota Twins. He'll be followed by Aaron Hicks. Hitting third tonight is Trevor Plouffe. He'll be at first base. The cleanup hitter, Miguel Sano. He had a home run here last night. The veteran Torrey Hunter will be in right field, followed by the third baseman Eduardo Escobar. Shane Robinson will be in left field. Kurt Suzuki will do the catching and batting ninth, and playing shortstop, Danny Santana.
Well, that lineup, all right-handed hitters facing CC Sabathia. We'll look at his numbers on the year. Starting to get a little bit better. His 19th game, 4-8, 5.25 ERA. And we'll look at our pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. His last outing, he went toe-to-toe with King Felix. Came away with a no decision, but only 1 earned run in 6 innings. Had to feel good about that, and has to do a better job against the righties. .330 batting average against. We'll look for the fastball cutter combination inside, and good numbers at Target Field. 3-0 with a 2.86 ERA in the stadium.
Here's Brian Dozier. Had his 21st home run of the year lead for the Twins last night. He'll be leading it off, and the first pitch from Sabathia is in there for a call strike. Dozier having a fine year, made the All-Star team. In fact, hit a home run in the All-Star game. Second in the American League in runs scored with 71. He trails Mike Trout, who's just 1 ahead of him. Next pitch, and that misses outside. 1-1. Dozier, we told you, he's having a fine year. You can see what he has done as a second baseman. First in home runs, first in runs batted in, second in doubles, first in runs, and first in slugging. Swings here, hits a line drive towards left field. Chris Young's going to have to play this on a hop. Dozier's going to lead off the ball game for the Twins with a single to left field. Quickly, let's check out the Yankees defense, which is brought to you by the Kia Sign It and Drive It sales event. You saw Young in left, Ellsbury in center, Beltran in right, Headley, Ryan, Drew, and Teixeira from third to first in the infield, and John Ryan Murphy doing the catching for the Yankees, and CC Sabathia on the mound.
Kenny, I was just thinking, what a luxury to have a second baseman like Dozier with the power numbers, the offensive production, and the Yankees were spoiled for years with Robinson Cano. The production that they got out of their second baseman.
Here's the switch hitting Aaron Hicks, batting second tonight. Sabathia deals, and the first pitch is over the inside corner for a call strike. Now, Hicks was a former #1 draft pick of the Twins back in 2008. And the Twins have been pretty good success with #1 picks. Joe Mauer's on the club. Trevor Plouffe. Torrey Hunter way back in 1993 was a #1 draft pick. And we're going to have a discussion here between John Ryan Murphy, CC Sabathia, and Brendan Ryan. Might have something to do with signs.
I'm sure trying to get on the same page, and we talked about the numbers against the right-handed hitters for Sabathia. All 9 hitters tonight are going to be right-handed, so he's got to figure it out. Fastballs in off the plate. If you're going to make a mistake, make it in. Do not make it out over the plate. He's been giving up so many home runs this year. I don't think of the Twins as a home run hitting club until last night, where they had 4 of them.
Dozier with a decent lead at first. The pitch is on the way. This ball's hit high in the air. Deep left center field. Going back is Young. He looks up, and this one's gone. A home run. The Twins continue to pound the home runs here at Target Field, and they take a 2-0 lead, just as they did in last night's first inning. For Hicks, that's his 4th home run of the season.
Well, we talked in last night's ball game how this was going to be a nice test for a young club here in Minnesota, with the Yankees coming in and playing a good series against Baltimore. Just like last night, a 2-run home run in the first inning kind of sets the tone.
So 2 hitters for Minnesota, a single followed by a home run, and here's the #3 hitter, Trevor Plouffe, had a home run of his own last night. Sabathia deals a breaking ball, and it drops in there for a called strike.
We'll take a look at the pitch and the location. Not too bad. I mean, it's out over the plate, down a little bit, but Hicks gets some good extension and good backspin.
Plouffe fouls it off. It's 0-2. Is that a changeup? It might have given him time to go out there and get it.
I mean, it was 84 miles an hour. I don't know if they were trying to backdoor a cutter or a changeup that didn't do a whole lot.
So it's 2-0 Minnesota. They jump out in front. Ball is hit hard, and Ryan has it on the line drive. So Plouffe is retired on a smash to short.
We're going to look at the keys to the game, which are brought to you by Hyundai and Sabathia's improvement. They wanted to see that continue tonight. Already off to a tough start. 3 balls that are hit hard, and the Twins at Target Field are amazing. 32-16, and that CC Sabathia Plouffe matchup that we just saw is one that I'm very interested in tonight. Plouffe has been carrying this team since the All-Star break. It's going to be a tough matchup for Sabathia.
Cleanup hitter is Miguel Sano, the rookie. And he's also the DH. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Take a look at the grip from CC, and it does look like a changeup, and that gave Hicks time to go out there and get it and get the barrel to the ball. 1-0 pitch, check swing, goes around too far, and evens the count of the ball and a strike.
Kenny, I mentioned that Plouffe-Sabathia matchup, one that I'm intrigued about. This one isn't so bad either. Sano with a 3-run or 2-run home run last night to dead central. Big, strong man.
Ball hit on the ground at third. Headley across the diamond. There are 2 down. Well, Sabathia in his career has done very well against these Minnesota Twins. John filled you in. He's 3-0 at this ballpark. And his last start, he won that 3rd game here at Target Field without a loss. That was on July 3rd of 2013, and that was his 200th career win. Against Minnesota, he is 17-9 and 8-1 as a member of the Yankees against Minnesota. Here's a veteran, Torrey Hunter. Tried to check. Did he go around? Yes, he did, says first base umpire Tom Woodring. Strike 1 to Torrey Hunter. As you would expect, these 2 veterans have squared off many times. One number that doesn't show there is that CC has struck out Hunter 18 times. This pitch has popped up. And it's going to be back into the seats for a souvenir, and CC has Hunter in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes.
No, it's Sabathia just got away with one right there. I'm sure Torrey Hunter thinking the same thing. 92 miles an hour. Murphy setting up inside, and it never gets there. It's middle of the plate. That's the pitch Sabathia has not been getting away with this year. Got away with that one.
Look out, backs him up a bit. It's a ball and 2 strikes. We mentioned that Hunter's home run last night was the 207th of his Twins career, which tied him with Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett for 6th on the all-time Minnesota list. Line drive towards right field. Beltran is there to make the catch, and that'll do it for the Twins here in the first inning. But after a single, it was Aaron Hicks who hits his 4th home run of the year that gives the Twins a 2-0 lead. It's on to the second inning here at Target Field. Bob's. Everything's better with a Bobblepedic. Find out why at mybobs.com. And you can see the home run leaders in the American League. Albert Pujols and his teammate Mike Trout tied with 29. J.D. Martinez, then Mark Teixeira. And Nelson Cruz with 24 home runs. Here's Teixeira. Had 3 hits here last night. All 3 were singles. It's 12 for his last 25. And he takes a pitch inside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Teixeira having a good month, hitting .313 here in July. Two-0 pitch, and that is a call strike. 2-1. The switch hitter has hit 5 of his 24 home runs against left-handed pitching. It's a high, towering fly ball to left center field. And it looks as though it's going to be Shane Robinson, and the left fielder has it, and there's one down here in a second. So Teixeira's retired, and it'll bring up the veteran Carlos Beltran. Beltran, not much history with Tommy Malone, but he's had 3 at-bats, and he's 3 for 3, and one of the 3 was a home run. So far in the early going, it's been going Beltran's way against Malone. And the first pitch is downstairs for ball 1. There are the overall numbers for Beltran on the season. Slow roller to the left side. It's going to be the second baseman Dozier, and a long throw is not in time. Beltran beats it. And the first baseman Plouffe turns right away to the Twins dugout, looking at his manager and saying that could go either way. We'll see if the Twins will file a challenge here, as Paul Molitor, their manager, is on the top step.
Well, you see the Twins were playing the shift and an awfully close play at first base. I was kind of wondering why Santana, the shortstop, didn't come across and cut it off.
And we'll see if there's going to be a challenge.
I think they should.
I think they should too. And they are going to challenge.
The way the shift was set up, Dozier going to his right, it was going to be a tougher play. Santana cut it off. He had the momentum going towards first base.
It appeared that Molitor was waiting for that last replay, and that made him decide to challenge. Just before the ball is in the glove, and now the ball is in the glove.
Yep.
And you can see that Beltran's foot is not quite to the bag. Now they're showing it on the board here in Minnesota, the video board, and it appears that the Twins fans are convinced that Carlos Beltran will not be standing at first base in just a few moments.
I think Carlos is convinced of the same thing as he was just looking up at the replay.
And we're going to have a decision, and Beltran is out. So that play will go 4-3. And it's 2 up and 2 down for the Yankees here in the second inning. And that will leave it to Chase Headley here in the second inning for the Yankees. Headley's having a very good month of July, although he's looking for his first home run of the month. Is 18 for 54, and that works out to a .333 batting average this month. Pitch is outside for ball 1 from Malone. We told you Malone's having a good year. He's won 5 games, 4 of them here at Target Field. Next pitch is fouled off, and it's a ball and a strike. The shift is on with Headley at the plate. Malone misses inside, 2-1. Flash told you Malone had a rough start in his last outing. That was against his former team, Oakland. And ground ball to third. Escobar. A high throw. The tag is made, and Headley is out. So Trevor Plouffe with a good play to record the final out of the top half of the second. At the end of an inning and a half, the Twins have a 2-0 lead. Which is brought to you by Cigna. Together, all the way. Well, the Yankees will complete this 3-game series tomorrow. That game will be on Yes. Then they head to Texas and the Heat. 4 days against the Texas Rangers. And they cap off the road trip with a weekend in Chicago. Sabathia deals, and the first pitch is hit high in the air, foul down the left field line by Eduardo Escobar, the third baseman. Escobar playing at third base tonight. Trevor Plouffe played there last night. Plouffe at first. Joe Mauer out of the lineup. As Paul Molitor, the Twins manager, goes with all right-handed hitters. Head pitch, check swing, goes through. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I mentioned it was a good night for Gardner to have off and a good night for Joe Mauer to have off. Terrible numbers against Sabathia.
Yeah, just 7 for 41 over the years, and that works out to a 171 batting average. Escobar with a bouncing ball to short for Ryan. Nice hop. The throw, plenty of time, and there's one out here in the second. Tonight's high-speed pitch comes from Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better. And that pitch was 92 miles an hour from CC Sabathia. In his last start against the Mariners at the stadium, Flash, he hit 94 a couple of times.
Well, he had extended rest, right?
He also said it was a hot, muggy day, and CC said he kind of flourishes under those conditions.
Just how he likes it.
Here's the left fielder, Shane Robinson, former St. Louis Cardinal, takes a pitch low and inside for a ball. The Twins signed him as a minor league free agent over the winter. We saw him come in defensively in right field for Torrey Hunter last night. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, Kenny, I was just sitting here thinking that the Yankees have had so much success against the Minnesota Twins through the years. When Ron Gardenhire was managing, never could seem to figure out the Yankees, whether it was at the stadium or here in Minnesota. I don't think Paul Molitor got that message. They jumped out last night, 10 runs, pounded the Yankees. Early lead here, 3-0. I'm sorry, 2-0.
That also extended to the postseason when the Yankees were knocking the Twins out of the postseason quite regularly. There is Paul Molitor, native of St. Paul, Minnesota. And that's in there for a strike. We mentioned his high school last night, Cretin Durham, but he also went to the University of Minnesota.
He's got to get an awful lot of credit early on for what these Twins have done. 52 and 44 already. Very low expectations for this season.
Robinson takes another pitch in there for a strike, and the count is full. By the time the Twins won their 52nd game last year, they'd already lost 64. So this year they've got 52 wins against just 44 losses. So well ahead of last year's pace. Sabathia with the payoff pitch. It's on the way, and it's hit on the ground and through in the left field for a base hit. Shane Robinson with a 1-out single here in the second inning. Third hit for the Twins.
Third hit for the Twins, but just like the Yankees last night, a lot of balls that have been hit hard early on by the Twins. Torrey Hunter, a line drive to right field. Plouffe hit a ball hard. Here Robinson has a good at bat working at the 3-2, and then just takes care of a high fastball.
Now, speaking of the Twins hitting the ball hard early in the game, Joe Girardi kind of defended his hitters. He said they hit the ball very hard against Phil Hughes and had nothing to show for it. Everything was just about at one of the Twins fielders.
I agree with Joe early in that game, but I thought, Phil Hughes made some adjustments in the middle, going off speed a lot more, and it paid off for him.
First pitch is in there to Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki had a good game last night. He went 2 for 4, drove in a couple of runs. Suzuki just 3 for his last 19. But he's hit well in this ballpark, as many Twins have. That's why their record is so good at home. Rolled foul, and it's ball and a strike on the veteran catcher. Remember Suzuki's days with the Oakland A's? Flash, he caught just about every game. There was no such thing as a day off, day game after a night game. He was in there. And you can see he's been a nemesis for Sabathia. 7 for 31, but 4 of the 7 have left the ballpark. CC stepped off and then was going to throw to first base, held up. Robinson was on the move. He was thinking about going.
It looked like he was going to try to go first move, gets off there a little early, and Sabathia does a good job stepping off first, so it's not a balk. Chooses not to throw over there.
Ground ball to short. This could be 2. Ryan to Drew. Drew drops the ball. All hands are safe. Wow, that looked like it was set up for a double play, but instead the Yankees get nothing. All hands are safe.
Stephen Drew has been criticized for his batting average, but has done a nice job at second base, and here he just takes his eye off the ball. And you're right, Kenny, this should be 6-4-3 and a routine double play. And that is a gift by Stephen Drew.
So Suzuki will be safe on the fielder's choice. And Robinson is safe on the air by Drew at second. So 2 on, 1 out, and a number 9 hitter, the shortstop Danny Santana, will get a chance with runners in scoring position. Or a runner in scoring position.
Well, they talk about it all the time. Mental letdowns after you make a pitch. You think you're going to get a double play and be out of the inning. It's more of a concern for a younger pitcher.
Yeah.
Wouldn't expect it to bother CC Sabathia, the veteran.
That pitch is hit foul down the right field side and out of play.
We saw this a little bit last night from this Minnesota Twins team offensively. They're going up to the plate swinging. Pineda throws a lot of strikes last night. They were aggressive early in the count. Same thing here with Sabathia.
Sabathia's in the top 10 along with Pineda and Phil Hughes in fewest walks per 9 innings. I think it's just a hint under 2 per 9 for CC. A ball and a strike on Santana. So Sabathia's going to have to work a little bit harder here in the bottom of the second inning, following the error by Drew. Little chopper, and it's foul. John Ryan Murphy has it. He'll flip it over to the Yankee dugout, and it counts as a ball and 2 strikes.
I know Sabathia gave up the 2-run home run to Hicks on a changeup, but everyone after that has been quality. Good movement down and away. Trying to fix that problem where that changeup was cutting to the middle of the plate. Now he's getting good action down and away and some ground balls.
Call, strike 3. Santana caught looking. That kind of reminded me of the way CC pitched in his last start.
Changeup away, and then he comes back with a fastball. Good catch by John Ryan Murphy. Good presentation to the home plate umpire Jeff Nelson.
First strikeout of the night for Sabathia. There's 2 down, 2 on. Lineup turns over for the dangerous Brian Dozier. Dozier had a single, scored ahead of the home run by Hicks. Strike 1 call. Off-speed pitch from Sabathia. Sabathia 212 career wins. Just 1 fewer than Bartolo Colon of the Mets. And 7 fewer than Tim Hudson of the Giants. They're the 3 leaders among the active pitchers. That pitch is in the dirt, a ball and a strike. Off the corner. CC's had to work hard this inning. This will be pitch number 20 coming up. Extended by the error. A long look at the signs. Ball is popped up. Let's see if Teixeira or John Ryan Murphy has a play. It's going to be Teixeira who takes it just in front of the Twins dugout. So Sabathia pitches around the error, and the score remains 2-0 Twins at the end of 2.
Time Warner Cable. Enjoy more shows on more screens. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one of your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Back at Target Field. Twins with an early 2-0 lead. John Ryan Murphy going to lead off here in the top of the third.
Statue of Kent Herback, former Minnesota Twin favorite.
Murphy first pitch swinging, going to be a ground ball to Santana. Should be an easy play. High throw, and the tag again by Plouffe.
Tell you what, Flash, those guys on the left side of the infield better get it together. First Escobar and now Santana. Santana's made 16 errors this year. He almost had 17. And Plouffe up the ladder once again, makes the tag on John Ryan Murphy for out number 1.
Kenny, we talked about Plouffe last night, leading third basemen in the American League in fielding percentage. Looks pretty good over there at first as well. A couple of athletic plays.
Looks like he could be a pretty good rebounder as well.
One pitch, one out for Tommy Malone. Bring up Brendan Ryan playing shortstop. Didi Gregorius gets the night off. Ryan with that batting average just under 300. Had a big RBI his last game that he played, gave the Yankees a lead. They were able to go to the bullpen. You start getting the feeling, Kenny, he's going to get a little bit more of an opportunity against some left-handed pitching, whether it's Stephen Drew gets a night off, Gregorius tonight.
Yeah, that double that he had scored a run against Baltimore, gave the Yankees the lead.
Takes a strike. I remember thinking back how big that was, not only for him but for the club. Yeah, every night it's Mark Teixeira, every night it's Alex Rodriguez. Well, Brendan Ryan came through with a big hit, perfect timing. You were able to go to the big boys at the end of the bullpen, pick up a nice win against Baltimore. Ryan in the driver's seat here, 3-1 count. Should get a good fastball to hit. It is fastball right down the middle. He works underneath it. Hicks in center field, going to cruise under it. 2 down here in the top of the 3rd. Two outs. It'll be Stephen Drew batting 9th. A 185 batting average, 12 home runs, 26 RBIs.
Drew batting 9th. The Yankees have only had 1 base runner, and that was erased on a double play. And be interesting to see how Malone fares the second time through the order.
Well, Malone, who's coming off that tough start against the Oakland A's, looks a lot better here tonight early on. Excellent numbers against left-handed hitting, 160 batting average against. He falls behind here to Stephen Drew, 2-0.
You know, I know fans don't like to see it, but every once in a while a pitcher will have a short start where he gets knocked out. And sometimes it's not a bad thing because you get that much more rest going into your next start. And plus you're a little ticked off as well. So
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
A little wake-up call.
Yeah, it works in a couple of ways.
Yeah, you're having a good year and all of a sudden you get beat up in a start and it's okay, I got to get back to work.
Yeah, it's a bounce back situation.
I mentioned it earlier, Tommy Milone, that one starter in this rotation who gets plenty of run support, over 5 runs a game. He takes the mound. 2-1 to Drew. Flips this one the other way. Escobar going, not going to be able to make a play.
This ball down the line is actually going to fall between 3 Twins, which would certainly make that triplets. And they can't make the play, and Drew's at bat will continue.
Now with 2 strikes, the Twins going with the shift. Off speed, gets Stephen Drew swinging and missing. So a nice clean 1-2-3 inning for Tommy Milone. He's not giving up a hit yet. He looks strong. The Yankees trail 2-0. Bourbon, a 92 proof wheated small batch bourbon. Unlock smoothness at larcenybourbon.com. And by Six Flags. Save big on Six Flags Great Adventure tickets at sixflagsgreatadventure.com. CC Sabathia back to work. Bottom of the 3rd inning. 2, 3, 4. Aaron Hicks, Trevor Plouffe, and Miguel Sano. Twins lead 2-0. Because of this man right here, his 4th home run of the year, a 2-run shot. Got the Twins on the board early in this one.
Well, the Twins have been waiting for Hicks to really blossom. There's nothing wrong with his defense. He's a fine outfielder. It's just his hitting has to catch up to his defensive ability.
Hits this ball hard. Ellsbury coming in. He's not going to be able to make the play. It'll be another hit for Aaron Hicks. Hicks on first. It'll be Trevor Plouffe coming to the plate. He's 0 for 1 on line drive at Brendan Ryan at shortstop, his first at bat.
As Flash said, Plouffe is having a very good season. Last night's home run tied his output from last year.
Hicks has 8 stolen bases, so he is a threat to run. He's not running here. Sabathia misses off the plate inside. Talking to Tom Brunansky, the hitting instructor for the Twins, he said Trevor Plouffe really the one guy who has been swinging the bat since the All-Star break. You see the numbers his last 3 years, 24 bombs in 2012.
Now, you played with Brunansky for a while, didn't you?
Played with Bruno my rookie year with the Boston Red Sox. Veteran club there. Tony Pena, Tom Brunansky, Frank Viola. Good fastball misses off the plate.
Bruno with 271 career home runs with the Angels, Twins, the Cardinals, Red Sox, and the Milwaukee Brewers. Power hitting outfielder.
He kind of just looks right in that uniform, though, doesn't he? Blue fouls one off the other way.
Yeah, the majority of his career was with the Minnesota Twins.
.41 pitches for Sabathia. He's given up 2 runs on 4 hits. Aaron Hicks taking his lead. Not running. And a good fastball for strike 3 for Sabathia. Second strikeout of the evening. Plouffe not happy.
We get another look. You can see the target of John Ryan Murphy on the inside corner. Now, Plouffe might have thought that pitch was high. I thought it caught a hint of the corner. And, you know, in this day and age, that might have been high for a ball. But if you go by the letter of the law, as far as the strike zone is concerned, that's a strike. Albeit a high one.
Jeff Nelson, the home plate umpire, calling the fastball in. If you're Sabathia, that's good news. If he's going to give you a little bit off the inside part of the plate, that plays to your strengths. Miguel Sano 0 for 1 with a ground out. Twins excited about this young player, not only about his power potential, but his plate discipline.
Yeah, so far of late, he's 1 for his last 20, but that one was the home run in the first inning last night.
You see young hitters get to the big leagues all the time, and they go up there without a plan, just swinging wildly. That's not Sano. They're impressed with his game plan at bat to at bat. Takes a breaking ball for strike 1.
He was originally signed by the Twins at the age of 16 from the Dominican Republic. I was just learning how to drive, let alone becoming a pro baseball player.
Off the end of the bat. Be a tough play. Nobody's there, and Sano's going to have himself an infield base hit.
Yeah, a couple of things working against the Yankees there. First of all, Sabathia falls off the mound going to the third base side, and it's hard for him to recover And really, he doesn't bounce off the mound like he used to. And plus, the shift was kind of on, and Drew was shaded towards second base. So really, there's nobody home once this ball got by Sabathia. And that's going to be an infield single for Sano. As he hustles down the line, there was no throw by Drew. There's Sabathia falling off towards third. Can't recover. No chance for the Yankees.
Well, Sabathia found himself in this situation in the second inning, was able to work his way out of a little bit of trouble. See if he can do it again. It'd be Torrey Hunter, his 15 home runs, 50 RBIs. Hit a ball hard to right field his first at bat.
Yeah, we should mention, we said that Hunter hit his 207th home run as a Twin. Now, he's played for other teams, and his overall total in his career is certainly more impressive. 346 home runs for an outfielder that won 9 consecutive Gold Gloves at one time. And of course, over in the Metrodome, which was a few blocks away from here. Remember Torrey Hunter leaping at the baggie, making great catches. 19 major league seasons, 9 Gold Gloves consecutively, and a 5-time All-Star.
The 40-year-old still getting it done. 15 home runs, 50 RBIs. The Twins have been raving about his leadership. Coming back to his home organization, he hits this ball well to right field. Beltran going back. He's not going to have a play. That's going to be a home run. A 3-run shot for Torrey Hunter. 16th of the year. The Twins now lead 5-0.
Now this is taking on the feel of last night's ball game. The Twins showing their power. Hunter with his second home run in 2 nights. His pitch was up, out over the plate, and the veteran goes the other way. And I think he knows it. Into the overhang and back onto the field. And a 3-run homer at that.
What's the old saying, Kenny? A bloop and a blast, a little infield based hit.
Yep.
Followed up with a 3-run bomb the other way. The Minnesota Twins, who were having trouble scoring runs after the All-Star break. No trouble last night, 10 runs and 5 early on here tonight. Eduardo Escobar 0 for 1, ground ball to short his first at bat.
Torrey Hunter, very important to the Twins ball club. He's like the mentor to the young outfielders. Aaron Hicks being one.
Escobar hits his ball hard, but it's going to find the seats. It's got to be discouraging for Sabathia and the Yankees coming off back-to-back starts where there have been some improvements.
That pitch was up and out over the plate. And maybe Torrey Hunter isn't the pull hitter he used to be. He did pull the home run last night, but now he's more able to use the whole field hitting.
Be a 1-2 from Sabathia. Another ground ball to short. Brendan Ryan up with it. 2 down. Oh, 2 down to bring up the left fielder Shane Robinson. Getting a start against the left-hander Sabathia tonight. He's 1 for 1 with a base hit to left field.
Robinson was a non-roster invitee to spring training. And usually when you fall into that category, it means you're a pretty good defensive player, which Robinson is. And you've shown just enough hitting, either in your major leagues or minor league careers, to get an infight and a chance to win a job.
Off the end of the bat, right back to Sabathia. Should be an easy play, and it is. But the damage has been done. Torrey Hunter with a 3-run shot going the other way. His 16th of the year. Twins lead 5-0.
It's time for your tour of the stadium, brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealer. It's fitting that on Hall of Fame weekend, we take a look at one of the Twins Hall of Famers, Kirby Puckett, who played for the team from 1984 to 1995. The statue you see behind me is Kirby Puckett during Game 6 of the World Series, where he hit a home run that forced a Game 7, and Puckett really said it best in this one. Jump on board, boys. I'm going to carry us tonight. Don't even worry about it. Just back me up a little, and I'll take us to a Game 7. Puckett was a man of his word. He did that, and the Twins went on to win Game 7.
Oh, very nice. Thank you, Meredith Marakovitz. And that's throwing it out there, Kenny.
Yeah, it is. They won Game 7 behind Jack Morris. 1-0 victory. That was quite a World Series.
Well, back to the top of the lineup for the Yankees. It'll be Ellsbury, Young, and Alex Rodriguez. And Tommy Milone, we talked about it. It's plenty of run support, has 5 runs on the board already. The Yankees are going to have to try to fight back.
Well, you heard Joe Girardi in our open talk about the spacious ballparks the Yankees play in on the road, and maybe that's why their offense isn't quite as productive, but Minnesota Twins have made this place look like a phone booth the last 2 nights.
The Yankees coming in here under Joe Girardi 14-5 in this ballpark, but it hasn't gone well the first couple of games, and it hasn't gone well here to start the 4th. Jacoby Ellsbury strikes out.
And he chases a pitch down and in. He kind of strikes himself out, so there's 1 down.
It looked like a curveball from Tommy Milone. We haven't seen too many of them early on in this one. Twins lead 5-0. Yankees looking for their first hit. Chris Young, first pitch swinging. Young was able to walk his first at bat, was erased on a 5-4-3 double play.
It was a good changeup to start him off by Tommy Milone.
Twins shading Young to pull a little bit.
Backed up the changeup with another one.
Milone, one of those pitchers with that real easy, slow delivery, and he kind of sneaks the ball on you at about 87 or 88. That good changeup that Kenny was just talking about.
Now, you wouldn't think of Milone as one of the big winners, but he's 37-25 in his career. He's 12 games over 500. And he's had a winning record in each one of the last 5 seasons.
Fastball catches Chris Young looking. Back-to-back strikeouts here to start the 4th.
Well, there was only one fastball in that series of pitches, and it was the last one. And it's well placed, knee high on the outside corner. Going back to last inning, Malone has now struck out 3 hitters in a row. Well executed pitch, and you can see Kurt Suzuki just holding the glove there for home plate umpire Jeff Nelson.
The 2 down will bring up Alex Rodriguez, grounded into a 5-4-3 double play, his first at bat to end the first inning. Coming into this game, Alex Rodriguez has never homered here at Target Field. He takes a fastball in off the plate. 30 career at bats now at Target Field. He's never hit a home run. And that statistic is going to change. Alex Rodriguez with a tremendous home run. The third deck in left field. And the Yankees are on the board.
You should have said that a long time ago, Flash. Wow. Not many go up in the third deck here at Target Field. That one only stayed up there briefly. It came back down. It bounced off. Alex is taking a look. He's now homered into what? 32 different ballparks. Here's a look. Whatever it was he was looking for. Number 21 on the season.
Mark Teixeira hits one down the left field line. Robinson will have a play. Alex Rodriguez gets the Yankees on the board with his 21st home run of the year. A look at the swing and a look at the third deck here at Target Field. Twins still lead 5-1. ...2015 with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replays, reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet today. Sabathia back out for the bottom of the fourth. It would be 8-9-1 for the Twins. Suzuki, Santana, and Brian Dozier.
Here's Alex Rodriguez's home run off Tommy Malone. First time he's ever hit a home run here at Target Field. And well, he had Target on the upper deck here. Just missed, hit the facing. Here's another look. A little tighter shot at this one. You can see it hit the face, and the fans are expecting it to get up there. Not quite, but still a long way from home plate.
You were asking today about how many balls went up in that third deck, right?
I did ask Dick Bremer, the longtime play-by-play man for the Minnesota Twins. He said not many.
Suzuki hits it hard right at Headley. One down.
But during the home run derby here last year, Giancarlo Stanton hit one the third row from the top here at Target Field. Almost went out of the stadium. That's impressive. I'm looking up there now, and it's just saying no way.
And this is not a bandbox. This is a big ballpark. Danny Santana, first pitch swinging. Easy play for Brendan Ryan. 2 quick outs for Sabathia. They announced Alex Rodriguez's home run at 452. Is that right? 52 feet?
Every inch of it, too.
So at Yankee Stadium, he hit one 453.
Yeah.
Two down will bring up Brian Dozier. Already has a base hit tonight. Go along with those 21 home runs, 55 RBIs, having an amazing year at second base for the Minnesota Twins. He's quickly behind in the count, 0-1.
Now to show you what type of player Dozier has been for these Twins, last year he had 23 home runs and stole 21 bases. So a good combination of power and speed. And he's the first Twins player to do that since 2004, when Torrey Hunter hit 23 home runs and had 21 stolen bases. Now he's already got the 20 home runs out of the way. He hit his 21st last night, but he only has 9 steals. You have to pick up the pace on the bases.
Sabathia trying to have a nice rebound inning after that 3-run home run in the third by Torrey Hunter. 2 quick outs already. Long look in at the signs, trying to get on the same page with John Ryan Murphy. Here comes a 2-1. Ground ball down the third base line, foul.
Now, if I remember correctly, last year Meredith did a feature with Brian Dozier about Rubik's Cube and how quickly he could solve the puzzle. It was a pregame feature, and he could do it in something like less than 2 minutes.
So this guy can do it all. He can hit for power, he can steal bases,
and he can solve a Rubik's Cube in less than 2 minutes.
He's trying to solve CC Sabathia right here. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Fastball in. Sabathia thought he had another strikeout. Doesn't get the call.
Let's see how close this is to being called strike 3. Maybe if inch or so off the corner. You saw John Ryan Murphy. Man, that was really close.
Even though he doesn't get the call right there, that is a good sign, because he's been leaving pitches out over the plate against righties. Good to see him pour the fastball in the inner half. Going to try to do it again, and this one misses badly off the plate. So a 2-out walk. Brian Dozier.
A couple of strikeouts for Sabathia to go along with the walk to Dozier.
Two down brings up Aaron Hicks, a 2-run home run and a base hit. He's been swinging the bat early in counts. Dozier at first. Kenny mentioned the 9 stolen bases. We'll see if he's going to try to get himself into scoring position here with 2 outs. Faked that he was going to steal and not running.
Yeah, he thought about going.
Down to Gene Glenn, the third base coach, and you have to imagine Brian Dozier on his own in this situation. An all-star type player. If he gets a good read from Sabathia, you know he'll be on the move. Not running. Hicks swinging. Fly ball down the right field line. This one will not find the seats, but a foul ball. .67 pitches already for Sabathia. Through his entire career has always been a pitcher to throw over 100 pitches, eat up innings. And it looks like those days are over for Sabathia. He's only thrown over 100 pitches 3 times this year. He's trying to get through the 4th here with 2 outs. Dozier takes his lead. He's not running. Hicks swinging again. Hits this ball to center field. Ellsbury comes in. And a nice bounce back inning for CC Sabathia. Take another look. Look like a changeup out over the plate. Hicks off the end of the bat. Pretty easy inning.
Finale on Yes. Coverage starts at 1 p.m. with the Alley batting practice today and the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then immediately after the postgame, catch a new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show. Get the scoop straight from the skipper, only on Yes. Top of the 5th inning, Carlos Beltran's going to lead it off for the Yankees against Tommy Malone, who so far has just allowed 1 run on 1 hit. That 1 hit, a long home run by Alex Rodriguez. And the score is 5-1. Beltran grounded to second his first time. And he foul tips it. And this gets a piece of Kurt Suzuki. Looks like the catcher's okay.
See where this one gets him. Oh, right off the mask.
Oh, you remember those, don't you, John?
You know what? I remember them, and I've always said it. You know, it looks a lot worse than it actually is. But now all of a sudden, with all these concussion problems that these catchers are having, it's no joke anymore.
Well, I say you remember those. I guess it's the ones you don't remember are the ones that are the problem. Yeah. Curveball hangs outside. 2 balls and a strike on Beltran. Will be followed by Headley and Murphy. That pitch is in there for a strike. A nice changeup from Tommy Malone. He's mixed that in well so far tonight.
Fastball is drilled foul. Tried to sneak one by Beltran. Wouldn't have it. I think early in the count, if I'm facing Tommy Milone, I'm going to look for a changeup. Let a fastball go by. Maybe for one strike. Curveball hit on the ground to the left side. Santana gobbles it up, throws him out. And one down here for the Yankees in the 5th inning. Beltran grounds out for the 2nd time.
Kenny, you are a better man than I am, because I would never let a fastball go by. You try to set him up a little bit?
Not very often. I'm just saying maybe a certain time of the game. And if he's been using that pitch successfully, making good pitches with it, all changeups are not the same. Some of them aren't as well located as others, and those are like batting practice pitches. Here are the standings in the Central Division. The Twins, with a win last night, gained the game on the front-running Royals. His pitch is hit high in the air by Headley to left field. Robinson makes the catch, and there are 2 up and 2 down quickly for the Yankees here in the 5th.
Joe Girardi looking on. He was very happy during that Baltimore series at home where the Yankees swept the Birds. Things have gone off to a little rough start on this road trip, a long road trip. That loss last night, down 5-1 here in the 5th.
This is really the last long road trip of the season for the Yankees. A 10-game trip. They do have trips to Cleveland and Toronto, Atlanta and Boston. This pitch is fouled off by John Ryan Murphy. Now, after they finish in Chicago next weekend, they have 0 remaining games out of the Eastern time zone. That's kind of the way the season began. Pitches outside for a ball. John Ryan Murphy, his last start, had 3 hits that tied a career high for him. That was against Baltimore on Thursday. And he takes a changeup downstairs, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
He had those 3 hits, but also Brian McCann, the #1 catcher, did not even have to think about going in that ball game, and that's really the best case scenario for a backup player. You go in there and you have a good game yourself, but you give the #1 guy a complete day off.
John Ryan Murphy has the count his way, 3 balls and a strike. Count is now full after the foul ball into the seats. Payoff pitch on the way. And it's hit to the right side, and a great stop by the first baseman. Plouffe flips to Milone, who makes contact with the bag, and that will do it. Twins diving all over the field, but they make the play, and the Yankees go 1-2-3 here in the 5th inning. Nice stop, nice throw, the recovery, and the tag of the bag. on their division rivals, the Boston Red Sox. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees portable power charger courtesy of Delta Airlines. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit Yankee Stadium ticket windows, Yankee clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Here we are, bottom of the fifth inning. Twins up 5-1. Trevor Plouffe is going to lead it off for the Twins. And the first pitch hit on the ground to short. Brendan Ryan down to a knee, comes up with it across the diamond, and there's one pitch and one out.
I wanted to see the Trevor Plouffe-Sabathia matchup, but offensively, Plouffe has not gotten it done, but he's done a great job over at first base. We saw him at third last night, a couple of athletic plays.
You know, Plouffe might have something else on his mind during these series against the Yankees. His wife is pregnant, and the due date is today. But no baby yet. So he's trying to end his bats quickly. Here's Miguel Sano. And he takes the first pitch in there for a call strike. Of course, here in Minnesota, we showed you the Mississippi River in our open, but this is known as the land of 10,000 lakes. And you know, fishing is a big industry here in Minnesota. It's a $2 billion industry, by the way. They fish all year long.
$2 billion?
$2 billion industry. That's Lake Calhoun. And when these lakes freeze over in the wintertime, that does not keep them from fishing. That's Lake Superior. I don't know if that one freezes over completely. Pitch to Sano, and he hits it on the ground to third. Headley has it. And there are going to be two outs after the throw. So anyway, there's a lake called Lake Mille Lacs. And these kids are out there fishing, as I said. It's a big business, but Lake Mille Lacs, when it freezes over, at any time during the winter, you can have, they put all those portable huts out there. You can have as many as 20,000 people out there fishing in the winter. They drill a hole in the ice. Some of these portable houses, or whatever they call them, huts, quite elaborate. So, Flash, if you're interested in coming up here with me in the winter, it gets as low as 40 below zero up here.
Okay, can you guarantee me there's going to be a heater in one of these huts?
Of course, they're all outfitted with all that. Remember the movie Grumpy Old Man?
Sure.
Yeah, that's what they do up in these parts. Here's Hunter, hit a home run his last time. Takes one inside for a ball. And here's something you would probably like to do. On Lake Minnetonka, they take old Christmas trees and kind of line them up and make fairways out of them and play golf in the winter. On the lake.
On the lake. The
on
frozen
the
lake.
On the frozen lake. We should try that.
Gotta believe that'd be a hard fairway, Kenny. You get a lot of roll.
Yeah, you do. And it's actually called the Chili Open. Very hardy people up in this part of the country. 2-1 count on Torrey Hunter. I think I'll take my golf in Florida in January. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's fouled back to the screen. So they don't complain about the cold weather. They embrace it, which is, you know, it's just the way of life up here. Two outs, nobody on. The pitch to Hunter is in the dirt, scooped out by John Ryan Murphy. The count is going full on the veteran, Torrey Hunter. Twins 5, Yankees 1. 2-run homer by Aaron Hicks and a 3-run homer by the man at the plate have provided the runs for the Twins. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Hunter, and he swings and misses, strike 3. And CC Sabathia has his first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. We have played 5 innings here at Target Field, sailing off into the night. It is 5-1 Twins. Day. Join Suki, Corey, Linda Church with the weather, and Caitlin Montes traffic reports Mondays from 5 to 9 on Pix 11 Morning News, where every story hits home. The news right here is the Yankees are trailing 5-1. Brendan Ryan is going to lead it off against Tommy Milone, who thus far has just allowed one hit, the home run to Alex Rodriguez. And Malone's first pitch is in there for a call strike to Ryan, who flied out to Aaron Hicks in center field in the third inning. Ball is lined foul on the third base side. Ryan just missing an extra base hit. Malone has been masterful thus far at mixing up his pitches. Very few breaking balls, but a lot of changeups, fastballs in. Toughest inning for him was the first. He threw 14 pitches. Off-speed pitch. Did he go? No. Ryan held up.
Well, Neil Allen is the new pitching coach here in Minnesota. He's got to be pleased with what his left-hander has done tonight after that shaky outing his last time against Oakland, only lasting 2 2/3. There's Neil. Old bullpen coach of mine with the New York Yankees in 05.
Off-speed pitch fouled off. You know, part of being a pitching coach, part of it is being a psychologist, you know, and knowing which one of these pitchers on your staff you have to really, I wouldn't say baby, but you have to go about talking to them in a different manner than you would with some of the others.
You know, Phil Hughes after the game last night gave Neil Allen a lot of praise, encouraging him to use his off-speed pitches more during the middle of that ball game, change up the look a little bit against the Yankees, and it worked out.
Tried to sneak a fastball in on the hands of Ryan and missed. So Malone faced with a count of 2-2. Remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, it's a big inning right here in the 6th. Yankees down by 4. You have the 8-9 guys up in the lineup trying to scratch their way on base. I want to get to Ellsbury, Young, and Alex Rodriguez, third time through the lineup. A couple of runners on. See if you can get something going here in the 6th. Pitch count in great shape, 66.
Change up and a swing and a miss for strike 3. 4th strikeout now for Tommy Milone as Ryan is retired.
This is picture perfect. Fastball up and in, and then you come back with a changeup down and away. You have Brendan Ryan out on his front foot. Watch Tommy Milone pitch, and he's kind of a throwback in today's baseball where everybody's throwing so hard. It's all about velocity. He's sitting there about 87, 88, locating, changing speeds.
Kind of reminds me of another Tommy Glavine, Hall of Famer.
Big day tomorrow at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's speaking of the Hall of Fame. 4 great players being inducted. And our congratulations go to Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, John Smoltz, and Craig Biggio. Drew was a strikeout victim his first time and takes a pitch outside. 2 balls and a strike on the Yankee second baseman.
You know, Kenny, when that Hall of Fame class was announced, I actually did a little research to see what I had done against some of those pitchers. Johnson, Smoltz, and Pedro Martinez.
To the right side, Plouffe has it. He's going to flip the Malone covering, and there are 2 outs.
And what I found out is that I had the most at-bats of my career against Pedro Martinez.
That should have been fun.
And I want to thank all my managers for throwing me out there all the time against Pedro. I appreciated that.
There is the percentage of vote for the inductees. Randy Johnson, 97.3. A no-doubter. Pedro, Smoltz, and Biggio, all deserving. I wonder how Biggio feels about going in with 3 pitchers.
Well, he's the first Houston Astro to go into the Hall of Fame, so that's quite an accomplishment for him.
You know, he started out as a catcher. And I think I told you before, he was smart enough then to move to second base.
Yes, he was.
And then he moved to center field. Ball hit hard and foul. How many times have we said that with the Yankees in this series? Hit hard but foul.
Biggio with some local ties in New York, went to Seton Hall. Well, he grew up on the island, I think.
Yeah, he did. Ellsbury 0 for 2. He's popped to second and struck out swinging. 2 outs, nobody on. And his pitch is fouled off. After giving up the home run to Alex Rodriguez, Malone has bounced back to retire the next 6 Yankees. There is the shift with Ellsbury at the plate. After 2 strikes, they move over. Ground ball to the left side. Santana throws him out. And the Yankees go 1-2-3. Going to the bottom half of the inning, the Twins lead it by 4. Clearance event. Right here, it's the Twins 5, the Yankees 1. Red Sox losing this afternoon. The Blue Jays coming away with a victory over Seattle on the West Coast. And the Orioles breaking a losing streak as they win. Escobar, Robinson, and Suzuki facing CC Sabathia here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the third baseman takes a breaking ball in there for a call strike twice. Escobar's grounded out to Ryan at short. This one's hit in the air to center field. Coming on is Ellsbury, and he makes a nice running catch. And Escobar is retired.
Ellsbury, a great jump, and that ball slicing away from him a little bit, able to make up some ground. A great look here, how it slices left to right. Ellsbury right there to make the play.
One down for Shane Robinson. Singled his first time up, grounded back to CC his next time up. 1 for 2. Call strike.
Kenny, you were mentioning earlier Robinson, a invitation to spring training, non-roster invite, makes the club, and Joe Girardi was talking about that today pregame with the media, that these guys who come to spring training now, non-roster invitation, that doesn't mean much anymore. A guy like Goody, who just got activated on the roster, was not on the 40-man, but he finds himself in the big leagues.
You look at his numbers, he certainly deserved a shot the way he was with pitching this year. For those of you who may have missed it, Nick Goody called up today by the Yankees, contract selected, major league contract, and added to the 25-man roster from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. 70 strikeouts in 48 1/3 innings in AAA. AA and AAA, I should say. 1-2 to count on Shane Robinson. Ball hit hard. Nice stop by the shortstop Ryan. He straightens up, throws the first in time, and they're 2 down. Right now we're going to go to Meredith Marakovich. Some news on the starting pitchers.
Well, Joe Girardi said yesterday he wasn't exactly sure how the rotation was going to set up in Texas, but they have made some decisions. As we know, Nathan Eovaldi will go tomorrow. Then it'll be Ivan Nova on Monday. Tuesday is to be determined. They're not sure exactly who is going to start that one there, but they did say that they wanted to give Masahiro Tanaka and Michael Pineda some extra rest, so they're pushing them back and inserting a 6th man into that rotation. Now, it will not be Luis Severino or Brian Mitchell. Brian Mitchell is pitching tonight for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre team, and Severino pitched yesterday, so they won't be available in time for that. And Joe Girardi didn't rule out the possibility of some combination of Chris Capuano and Adam Warren. He said he'd feel comfortable with each of those guys throwing about 50 pitches at this particular point in time. But guys, that really depends on how they're used from now until then.
So Tuesday night, TBA on the mound at this point for the Yankees. By the way, Severino won his start last night. He's now 6-0 at AAA.
So this is a concerted effort to give Tanaka extra days, it seems like.
100%, and he has not pitched on regular rest in a long time, and it doesn't seem as though he's going to. The Yankees are going to try to continue to give him extra rest if need be. It just seems as though that is the way his body bounces back the best, and they don't want to take any chances with Tanaka. So that looks as though it's been the plan ever since he's come off the DL.
Jim, I begin to wonder, are we getting closer to a 6-man rotation? 2-0 on Suzuki, who takes a pitch outside, ball 3. You know, when you think about it, you've got Nova coming off Tommy John surgery. You've got Pineda, who's had shoulder surgery in the past. You got Tanaka, who you know, thought could he make it through the season this year? That pitch is in there for a strike. And you got Sabathia coming off knee surgery. So all these pitchers have question marks, and maybe the best thing in the future, I'm not saying maybe not right now, but to go with 6-man.
And Kenny, that was part of the decision. It wasn't just about Tanaka or about Pineda. Joe Girardi said earlier today, realistically, Nathan Eovaldi probably one of the only guys in that rotation that they feel good about going 200 innings. You mentioned CC Sabathia, some of the knee issues that he had. He realizes he may not be able to give him the amount of innings that he had in years past. Tanaka spent some time on the DL. Are going to be careful with him. Pineda hasn't pitched a full season in a long time, and other guys in that rotation that they really do need to be careful with.
And you know what helps a staff like that? A strong bullpen. And the Yankees do have that. Number 9 hitter, Danny Santana, the shortstop. And he takes one off the foot. And that one had to hurt a bit. Santana is kind of frozen at home plate before he takes his first step. So Sabathia plunks Santana.
Yeah, and obviously not what Sabathia wants to do. The number 9 hitter in the lineup right off his front foot. Now you have to worry about the all-star Brian Dozier. Tries to go with a fastball in. He just yanks it down and in. Clips his toe.
Oh my goodness.
You know, Kenny, but all this talk about the rotation. See Adam Warren getting loose in the bullpen. You know, I thought the Yankees are in great shape going into the trade deadline, and the fact that you don't have to go out and get somebody. You don't have a glaring need. Now all of a sudden you might start thinking differently about the rotation.
As quickly, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. And Flash, I know what you're talking about as far as the rotation itself and what the Yankees might be thinking. They're trying to keep these guys as healthy for as long as they can. And we're barely past the halfway mark in the season.
There's a guy available who threw a no-hitter today. How about that, Cole Hamels?
Yeah. The price tag might have gone up. That was at Wrigley Field against the Chicago Cubs. Cole Hamels throws a no-hitter against the Cubbies as the Phillies won 5-0. And his name has been mentioned all season long as far as being on the trading block. Dozier's up with 2 on and 2 outs. He has singled and scored, fouled out to Teixeira, and drawn a base on balls.
Well, it's a huge at bat right here. 91 pitches for Sabathia, the all-star second baseman with plenty of power.
Swing and a miss.
That have been the best slider we have seen from Sabathia all night. He's thrown some good changeups and some good fastballs inside on righties. The bottom just falls out of that breaking ball.
It's not very often that your leadoff man leads the team and runs batted in, but that's the case with the Minnesota Twins and Dozier. He's got 55 runs batted in. Plouffe has 54. Hunter has 53. And Joe Mauer has 43. Roller foul. Well, we can take a look, and this is Cole Hamels.
Threw 129 pitches as Chris Bryant was the last batter. Wow.
Oh, wow. You know, if he doesn't catch that, what's the decision here from the official score? Phillies haven't had much to celebrate this year, but they certainly did today at Wrigley Field at the friendly confines. Full count, and the runners will be going. Suzuki will take off from second. Santana, maybe a bit hobbled, will take off from first. You're up there in this situation, you kind of run every pitch that the pitcher has or has shown you in this at bat through your mind. And then you kind of settle on one a little more than the others. Try and react to the other ones. Pitch is on the way, and it's ball 4. A changeup from Sabathia misses, and the Twins, after the first 2 Twins were retired, have loaded the bases. Second walk of the inning, third walk of the game for Sabathia. And they'll bring up Aaron Hicks, and Joe Girardi's on the phone to the bullpen. And now he's going after the mound. And he's making the call. And fans, this call to the bullpen is brought to you by the Volkswagen Model Year-End Sales Event. So Sabathia will depart. He leaves the bases loaded in 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
The video recap is brought to you by Verizon Fios. Now there's a totally new way to customize your TV. Only from Verizon Fios. A couple of home runs for the Twins. One home run for the Yankees. Alex Rodriguez providing their lone run of the night with a long home run. So Adam Warren comes in. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Aaron Hicks, a switch hitter, jumps over to the other side of the plate. He was 2 for 3 against CC Sabathia with a home run and a single. And Warren delivers and starts him with a curve and drops it in for a call strike.
Adam Warren hasn't pitched in a while. The 18th of July against Seattle, his last appearance. Comes here with the bases loaded, not a whole lot of room for error, and having another outstanding year.
Working both as a starter and out of the bullpen. Sabathia sort of lost the strike zone before he departed. Walked a couple and hit a batter. Inside for a ball. 1-1 on Hicks. Two and one as he misses with a changeup.
Well, Aaron Hicks moves to the other side of the plate. You see the numbers for Sabathia. 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and again, victim of the long ball.
And he kind of labored. 96 pitches in 5 2/3 innings. He only had one 1-2-3 inning. That was in the 5th. So a big spot for Adam Warren here in relief of CC Sabathia. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, Hicks in the driver's seat right now. Bases loaded, no place to put him. You've got to believe Adam Warren's got to challenge him here with a fastball out over the plate. Take your chances.
Suzuki, Santana, and Dozier on base for the Twins. Fouled off. Enough fastball to almost get it by Aaron Hicks. The count is full.
There it is. You like that. Adam Warren right down the middle. Here's my best fastball. Let's see what you can do with it. Hicks was beat a little bit, works underneath it, fouls it off. Now the off-speed pitch comes back into play if you want to go that route.
The runners will be off with the 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. The merry-go-round will start. A long look at the signs. And Hicks calls timeout. And they're going to talk this one over. John Ryan Murphy after the man. Adam Warren, they want to be on the same page. Warren telling him what he would like to throw in this situation. You can see almost a jam-packed Target Field on hand to watch this contest. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Check swing, but it's in there for call, strike 3. So Adam Warren picks up CC Sabathia as Paul Molitor wants to know whether it was a call strike or swung at it. And I think the call by Jeff Nelson was that he swung at it.
And we'll see if Jeff Nelson gives a point. Yes, right there at Hicks that he went.
So that's going to do it. The Twins leave the bases loaded. Adam Warren gets him to chase a pitch out of the zone.
Hicks and the check swing. The pitch obviously down out of the zone. Home plate umpire Jeff Nelson points at Hicks that he did swing. You make your own determination right there. That is a borderline call. And Paul Molitor, manager of the Twins, not happy, basically asking Jeff Nelson, why didn't you get some help from your third base umpire Laz Diaz? Molitor got thrown out of the game. He'll watch the rest of it from his office, the clubhouse.
You cannot argue balls and strikes. That's automatic ejection. So Molitor thought it was worth it. Why didn't you ask? Sticking up for his players.
Good job by Adam Warren, working his way out of some trouble there, picking up CC Sabathia and keeping this one a 4-run game. The Twins lead 5-1, top of the 7th. Not much offensively to talk about except Alex Rodriguez and his 21st home run of the year. Tommy Milone has been on top of his game. Behind in the count here to Chris Young, 0 for 1 with a walk. So was caught looking.
Now we mentioned CC Sabathia, only 1-1-2-3 inning. Milone has had 4 of them, and he had another inning where a runner got on and was erased by a double play.
It'll be a 3-1 pitch to Young, and he hits it hard right at the third baseman. Escobar not able to make the play. Young around first. He will be in the second with probably will be a double. We'll see how they rule that. The ball hit hard.
I got to believe this is a double, and I think if Escobar caught it, it would have dragged him to the outfield grass. It was hit that hard. There it is off the tip of his glove. You better check the lacings on this. Laz Diaz leans back out of the way. It's a fair ball. And Young is at second with what I believe is going to be a 2-base hit. They haven't put it up there as a hit.
There it is.
There it is. It's a double.
The Yankees trying to get something going here in the 7th. Alex Rodriguez, a long solo home run, the 21st of his year. Chris Young in scoring position at second base with a leadoff double. And Milone misses.
Now the pitch that Alex hit for the home run was something down and in. And Milone immediately starts him off with a changeup away. Sometimes you can eliminate certain areas of the plate by what you have done during the course of the game.
That changeup. It's an activity in the bullpen for the Twins. Trevor May, Brian Dunson. The 1-1 Alex Rodriguez. This ball hit hard to left center field. And Alex Rodriguez is having himself a big night. A 2-run shot, the 22nd of his season, and the Yankees are right back in this one.
Well, he came into tonight having never hit a home run here at Target Field. In 29 at-bats. Those last 2 times up, he's gone well over 400 feet both times. And Milone knows he's not getting that one back. And Alex Rodriguez has driven in all 3 of the Yankee runs. And now has 676 career homers. And that's a swing right off of Wheaties box right there.
The Yankees right back in this one, 5-3. Haven't had a whole lot to celebrate tonight. Pitching coach Neil Allen had a conversation with Tommy Milone. Now back to work facing Mark Teixeira. Mark's had a couple of fly balls to left field tonight. He hits this ball hard right at center field at Hicks, and it's going to be over his head. Teixeira around first. He'll cruise into second base with a double. We're starting to see a lot of balls hit hard here in the 7th inning against Tommy Milone.
Teixeira's 21st double of the year. It kind of froze Hicks in center field right at the start. And with him being frozen, he didn't have time to recover and get back on this one. Up over his glove, all the way to the wall. Teixeira with a double. And I believe that's going to be it for Tommy Milone. This ball is a rocket. You can see momentarily Hicks was frozen. And that was enough to let the ball get over his head.
So the Minnesota Twins are going to make a pitching change. Going to be our call to the bullpen, brought to you by Volkswagen. Tommy Milone had a good game, but struggling a little bit here in the 7th. Doctor, 5-3 Twins. Rodriguez, a couple of home runs tonight, responsible for all 3 runs. Tommy Milone, his evening is done. 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Brian Dunsing in to face Carlos Beltran.
Yankees saw Dunsing last night in the opening game of the series. He worked an inning, gave up a hit and a walk, but no runs.
His last 10 outings have been good, only 3 hits and no runs. Enjoying a good streak to get that ERA down to 5.11. Ahead in the count early, 0-1 to Beltran.
Well, the Yankees have gotten a situation where they've got the tying run to the plate. There's nobody out here in the 7th.
Beltran a couple of ground balls. Yankees trying to fight their way back in this one.
Dunsing, like a lot of pitchers, early in his career was a starter for these Twins, and now working just about all the time out of the bullpen.
The 2-1, and this ball hit hard to center field. Hicks going back. Teixeira tags up at second. He's going to go to third. The strong throw offline a little bit. Teixeira advances to third base.
Heads up base running by the Yankees first baseman. The ball deep enough. Hicks, we told you he's a good outfielder. Got a pretty strong arm, but Teixeira is able to get over to third base with just 1 out. And it's up to Headley now to get the runner home.
I'm sure Chase Headley appreciates that. Makes his job a little bit easier. Sac fly, maybe a ground ball right back up the middle. Pick up an RBI. The Twins playing the infield defense back. Headley first pitch swinging. He hits this ball hard. Hicks coming in, makes the play. Teixeira tagging the throw. Not in time. 5-4 Twins.
So Headley indeed gets the runner home with the sac fly, and the Yankees have scored 3 times here in the 7th. Didn't waste any time. Jumped on the first pitch. You can see Hicks coming on, but he had to stop his momentum away from home plate, and that was the difference. As Teixeira heads up base running, tagging from second to third, and now scoring. You can see the left hand touching home plate. Suzuki didn't handle the throw anyway.
The Yankees, who could not get much going early on in this game, hitting balls hard here in the 7th inning. Kenny said have thrown 3 up on the board. John Ryan Murphy hits a ball hard. Line drive to Dozier. But a very productive 7th inning for the New York Yankees. Alex Rodriguez has had a huge night. His 21st home run of the year in the 4th. And then he follows it up in the 7th inning with a long home run to left center field. 22nd home run of the year, but the Yankees trail 5-4. Affinity retailer. See Aaron Hicks having a nice game. Torrey Hunter with that home run, 3 RBIs. Twins have put 5 on the board already. It'll be Trevor Plouffe leading off here in the bottom of the 7th. Look at the line score brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on the most exciting lineup ever. 5-4. We got a good one now with those 3 runs in the 7th inning for the Yankees. Adam Warren back out there, gets Plouffe to block one off the other way. Easy play for Drew. 1 down here in the 7th.
Plouffe now 0 for 4.
One down will bring up the DH Miguel Sano. He's 1 for 3, had an infield hit. It'll be a battle of the bullpens. It's Jason Shreve getting loose. Bullpen coach Gary Tuck looking on. Be a 1-0 to Sano. A slider misses down and away.
You saw Shreve warming up, and I think one thing that he has proven to Yankee fans this year is that he can get righties and lefties out. His fastball's in on the righties. Also has that split change that goes away. struck out.
If you look at that Minnesota Twins bullpen, all-star Glenn Perkins, their closer, has 29 saves. They have had some issues getting him the baseball with some of their setup guys. And Adam Warren trying to keep it at a 5-4 game. 3-0 fastball, strike. Torrey Hunter waiting on deck. Good swing, foul ball by Sano. Well, Michael Pineda saw last night firsthand that Sano, when he can get his arms extended, plenty of power. 2-run shot to center field. Adam Warren trying to run the ball in on his hands. Going to go back away here with a slider. And another check swing, and this time they check with the first base umpire, Tom Woodring, and he said he did not swing.
So Sano is on with 1 out.
Bring up Torrey Hunter, had a pretty good game against Sabathia. Hit a ball hard to right field. Then a 3-run home run. Struck out his last at bat. Not only is he bringing the leadership here back to Minnesota, 16 home runs, plenty of RBIs. Foul ball for strike 1.
You know, Torrey Hunter signed a 1-year deal, but the feeling is he's played well enough to have another go at it if he wants to. Just recently turned 40 years old.
And why not, right? He's been productive. They got a good young team. Surprising some people this year. This will be a ground ball to Ryan. Over to Drew. 6-4-3 double play. Nice job by Adam Warren. Nice turn by the middle infielders. Yankees trying to get something done offensively here at the end of this ball game. They trail by 1. It's 5-4.
By your local area Infinity retailer, and you can see Alex Rodriguez with the big night. 2 for 3, 2 home runs, 2 long home runs, and 3 runs batted in. And Chase Henley drove in the other run with a sacrifice fly. The Twins have gone to the bullpen here in the 8th inning. They bring in a tall right-hander. The Yankees showed some muscle in the last inning. This young man certainly hoping they could do the same thing here in the 8th.
Trevor May, the numbers on the year, he was in the rotation, and now that Santana is back, he's been moved to the bullpen. He gets a chance to set up right here in the 8th inning with a one-run lead.
And with the Twins going to a right-hander out of the bullpen, the Yankees had all left-handed hitters on their bench, and one of them is going to come up and pinch hit. It is going to be Brett Gardner hitting for Brendan Ryan. So Gardner, who was not in the starting lineup, does make an appearance in this ball game as a pinch hitter. Gardner has not had a pinch hit appearance thus far this year. So this is a first. Yankees are down 5-4. Trevor May on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. First pitch is low and inside, ball 1. There's a call, strike 1-1. Tonight's attendance, a sellout. And the largest crowd this year, 40,660. On a beautiful night for baseball here in the upper Midwest. Off speed pitch, and it misses to Gardner. That was close. 2 balls and a strike.
A couple of good fastballs, and then he comes back with a slider. We'll take a look. Actually, more of a curveball. Wow. Brett Gardner will take it.
2-1 pitch fouled off. Now we saw how Suzuki tried to bring the glove down, John. Can a catcher take away a strike?
Yeah, if you're moving your glove too much, and telling an umpire, I'm really trying to help this pitch, you can take away a strike. A lot of times on that high curveball, Kenny, you want to let the ball travel as deep as you can so you don't have to reach out for it. See maybe if you can get the call that way.
Looks like it's going to be a fastball in. And it's inside.
You got to like May's arm. Good fastball popping about 95, 96. That's off the plate.
And now the count has run full. Yankees down by a run. Brett Gardner leading it off in the 8th inning. Pinch hitting for Brendan Ryan. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it's hit on the ground to the right side for Dozier. And he will throw out Gardner for out number 1.
I just watched Kurt Suzuki, the catcher for the Twins, kind of clap his hands after that. He knows what a big out that is. You keep Brett Gardner off the bases in a 1-run game. It looked like Brett might have swung at a ball out of the strike zone.
We'll get another look.
Suzuki setting up away. That's borderline. He's got to swing at that.
Yeah, he does.
He's going to ask Jeff Nelson whether it was a strike.
Drew's 0 for 2. He struck out, grounded out, and he hits a high fly ball to center field. Hicks to his right makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. Now the lineup will turn over for the Yankees. And to bring up Jacoby Ellsbury, who's looking for his first hit of the night. He's popped up, struck out, and grounded out. His average is crept below the 300 mark now at 297. Curveball hangs high for ball 1. The Yankee bullpen is busy. This is lined towards center field, and Hicks is going to have to play this on 2 hops. As Ellsbury gets his first hit of the game, and he's on with 2 outs. He represents the tying run.
We're going to have another pinch hitter, Chris Young, called back to the dugout.
Well, this all goes back to Young's ability to hit left-handers. He had a double his last time up against Malone. You see Glenn Perkins, the Twins closer, warming up. And coming up to pinch hit will be Brian McCann. So McCann will hit for Chris Young. And let's see what McCann has done as a pinch hitter this year. He's fared pretty well off the bench. He's 2 for 4. On deck is Alex Rodriguez if the inning continues. So Joe Girardi had a bench full of left-handed hitters. And he's thrown 2 of them out there in this inning.
Well, the Twins don't look like they're going to stall for any time to get Perkins in the game, so this is your matchup right here.
Starts him with a hook, drops it in for a strike.
You see that a lot with pinch hitters. Twins pretty much playing them straight up for Brian McCann. Pinch hitters, a lot of pitchers will drop a first pitch off speed pitch thinking that they're looking for the fastball coming off the bench. Good pitch by May.
There's the fastball, but it's upstairs. I mean, off speed pitch, I should say. It's upstairs. It's a ball and a strike. Brian Dozier, the second baseman, playing in short right field. Giving himself a lot of lateral movement, or at least a chance for it. Throw over the first. Since coming off the disable, as Ellsbury has yet to pick up a stolen base, he still has the 14 that he had before he was injured. May steps off. Of course, Ellsbury, when healthy, on the premier stolen base. Runners in the game. May 16th was his last steal. He's not going. Pitch is fouled off the end of the bat. Strike 2.
Seen that good fastball from May, but he's gone curveball, changeup to Brian McCann. Brian hunting a fastball. He doesn't get it. He's way out front.
That might have been one to lay back on because that was kind of right there. A ball and 2 strikes. Ellsbury at first with 2 down. Yankees down by a run here in the 8th inning. The ball gets away off the glove of Plouffe down towards the right field corner. Ellsbury will move into scoring position at second base. I got to think that's an error on the first baseman. Didn't look like that bad a throw.
Now something as innocent and throwing over. Ellsbury not a great lead. Just off of the glove of Plouffe, who's done a great job at first base tonight, making a number of outstanding defensive plays. He just whiffs right here. Big break for the Yankees. Ellsbury in scoring position.
The error will go to the pitcher. E1. I'm not so sure. So now the Yankees have a runner in scoring position. A ball and 2 strikes on Brian McCann. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. He got him with a changeup. So the Yankees leave Ellsbury at second. It's on to the bottom of the 8th. 5-4 Minnesota.
centers. There it is, 5-4 Minnesota. Hicks with a 2-run homer, Hunter with a 3-run shot for Minnesota, and Alex Rodriguez with a couple of home runs, a solo and a 2-run shot, has driven in 3 of the 4 Yankee runs as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Adam Warren still in the ball game. He gets Escobar, Robinson, and Suzuki here in the bottom of the 8th. And the first pitch drops in there for a strike to the switch hitting third baseman. Escobar is grounded to short twice and lined out to Ellsbury in center field. He's 0 for 3. Jackknifes out of the way, and it's a ball and a strike. We've mentioned many times that Adam Warren graduated the University of North Carolina. But fans might not know that his father, Calvin, is a graduate of North Carolina State. I wonder how that works during basketball and football season. Pitch is fouled off by Escobar. Adam originally from New Bern, North Carolina. Adam now lives in Florida, but his dad still lives in New Bern. There's Didi Gregorius, who takes over at shortstop. And Brett Gardner stays in the ball game. He's in left field. Low and inside. Escobar has to get out of the way, and the count evens up at 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Escobar is gone. Something in on his hands sends him back to the dugout. Second strikeout for Adam Warren.
Yeah, when Adam Warren has this slider going, I mean, he's a tough pitcher anyway, but when he has this nasty bite down and in, boy, he's tough to hit. A lot to handle right there. The good fastball with movement, tough slider down and in.
So 1 out, nobody on to bring up Shane Robinson, the left fielder, who's had a hit in 3 tries. That is in there for a call strike. Now, if you're looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning, with the Yankees down by 1, you've got A-Rod, Teixeira, and Beltran scheduled to hit 3, 4, and 5. Ball is lined to first. Teixeira corrals it, and there's 2 outs.
Kenny, if you want to dig a little bit deeper, Alex Rodriguez against Perkins, the closer, 5 for 9 with 1 home run. So good numbers. If we indeed do get that matchup, which we anticipate we will.
There's Perkins, who has been perfect. Now the bullpen, as far as saves are concerned, for these Twins this year. 2 outs, nobody on for Suzuki, who's walked in 3 tries. He's 0 for 2. Fouled off the foot of Suzuki. No balls and 2 strikes. Warren shakes off a couple of pitches. Now they're going to start over. Now they're ready. Ball and 2 strikes on Suzuki.
Line drive. This is going to drop into the gap in left center field. Gardner cuts it off, and that will hold Suzuki to a 2-out single here in the 8th inning. So the inning will continue for the Twins with the number 9 hitter, Danny Santana, the shortstop, coming up. First hit allowed by Adam Warren. Suzuki's on base for the 2nd time in the game. Santana reached base the hard way last time up. He was hit by a pitch by CC Sabathia. Switch hitting shortstop. Changeup misses downstairs, ball 1. Adam Warren trying to hold it right here. Yankees facing a 1-run deficit. Little chopper to the right side. Drew will throw out Escobar, and that will do it. As we head to the 9th inning, Glenn Perkins coming in for the Twins. He'll face Alex Rodriguez. The last time he hit 3 home runs in a game was back in 2010. Can he make it 3 for the crowd tonight? Play the Chicago White Sox live from the Heartland. Catch all the action beginning at 7 p.m. as the Yankees battle the Pale Hose right here on New York's home for baseball. Hicks 11. So the Twins have gone to their closer, Glenn Perkins, their all-star closer. And he will face the heart of the Yankees order. Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, and Carlos Beltran. 3 veteran hitters here at the top of the 9th inning. A-Rod, as we told you, has had a great night. A couple of home runs, driven in 3 runs. Now, the last time Alex hit 3 home runs was at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City against the Royals, August 14th, 2010. Pitch from Perkins, hit high in the air, deep center field. Back goes Hicks. This one is gone. A home run, and it's a tie ball game. He's done it. 3 for the crowd here in Minnesota. Didn't waste any time. Jumped on Perkins' first pitch. And this game is tied at 5.
Well, I mentioned the numbers. 5 for 9 with a home run coming into that at bat. And Perkins did not shy away from the challenge. Came right at him. And he paid the price. What a show Alex Rodriguez is putting on here in Minnesota tonight.
That is Perkins' first blown save of the season. Here's Teixeira. And he takes a pitch for ball 1.
Good numbers coming in. Perkins tries to go inside. He doesn't get it there. Alex Rodriguez just drops the bat head.
Check swing. Teixeira goes around, and it's a ball and a strike. So now it's a 5-5 ball game. After hitting into a double play in the first inning, 3 consecutive home runs off the bat of Alex Rodriguez. Teixeira hits one hard off the glove of Santana and on into left field for a base hit. The Yankees have the go-ahead run on here in the 9th inning. Let's take another look at the swing of Alex Rodriguez.
Boy, it had that sound, Kenny. Left field for the first home run, left center for the second. And this one just off of center field, no doubt about it.
Here's Carlos Beltran. Swings and hits one to third. Escobar. The dozer on the first, and it's a double play.
Well, Plouffe has moved over to third base. He starts it over to Dozier, over to Joe Mauer. It looked like Beltran might have beat that out. Joe Girardi hanging out on the field, waiting for a replay.
Let's see if he's going to challenge. And why not? Yeah, the Twins made a defensive change. Plouffe moves over to third, and Joe Mauer takes over at first base.
Clearly looks like he's safe.
That is Jeff Nelson. And first base umpire Tom Woodring getting the news from New York. Alex Rodriguez with a leadoff home run, and you can see Beltran is safe, just as Flash mentioned. So there's a man on with 1 out. I remember that game at Kansas City where A-Rod hit the 3 home runs. Each one was longer than the one before it. And the last one landed up in the fountains in left center field. Here's Headley. And he'll take a pitch from Perkins in there for a call strike. Perkins trying to set down Headley, who's 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Swing and a miss.
You watch Perkins and the swing of the bat, his reaction. He didn't shy away. He went right at Alex Rodriguez, and he paid the price.
In the dirt, knocked down. Well, there have been plenty of pitchers who have paid the price. Challenging Alex Rodriguez. Perkins is just the latest one. Headley lines one over second. It's going to be in there for a base hit. Beltran's going to turn at second, head for third, and the Yankees have the runners on the corners with 1 out here in the 9th inning.
Well, nice job by Chase Headley, not trying to do too much. See that Yankee dugout excited. Very easily to be up there thinking, I'm going to be the hero, hit a 2-run home run and give the Yankees a lead. He just flips one to right center field. They're all set up, first and third, 1 out. Perkins, the all-star closer, leads the American League in saves, having a tough outing.
How big was that challenge call? Beltran now standing at third with the go-ahead run and 1 out. Headley over at first. John Ryan Murphy at the plate. Hit the ball hard twice. Twins bring the infield about halfway. They give themselves the opportunity in the middle infield to turn a double play.
The Yankees have the momentum here in the top of the 9th inning. If you're Murphy, just calm down, look for a pitch out over the plate, the ball in the air.
Fouls that one off. It's a ball and a strike.
Good swing right there.
Yankees trying to put on a major rally in this ball game and pull this one out. Inside for a ball. It's 2-1.
Biggest thing for a young hitter in this situation, be disciplined and have a game plan. It should be pretty simple. Get Perkins to leave a pitch out over the plate. Don't worry about the inner half.
Now he's got the first part in check. He's ahead on the count, 2-1. Pitch is fouled off, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He had 2 pitches to do it, Kenny, and he fouled both of them off. He executed the plan, looking for a pitch out over the plate, had 2 good swings. Fouled it off. Now he's got a battle, 2 strikes.
Hit in the air, and this is deep. Deep right center field. Hicks going back near the wall, and this one is gone. A home run for John Ryan Murphy, and the Yankees lead 8-5. A 3-run home run for Murphy. His first home run of the year gives the Yankees the lead here in the top half of the 9th inning, and the Yankees are celebrating. What a comeback. Yeah, better touch home plate.
Well, Murphy had 2 pitches to hammer, and he fouled them off, and then he gets a mistake with 2 strikes, and you love that emotion in the dugout for the Yankees. Backup player coming through again. First home run of the year is a big one.
The Yankees have scored 4 times here in the top of the 9th inning, capped off by the 3-run home run by John Ryan Murphy. His first of the season. And when you're primarily in the backup role, how big is that?
Well, you love the way everybody reacts. They know how tough that job is. They know how hard John Ryan Murphy works. And to come through with a big hit, going the opposite way, Kenny, hit that ball a long way.
Yeah, he did. When he touched it off, I knew the Yankees were going to get at least 1 run. I didn't know they were going to get 3. Pitches inside to Brett Gardner for a ball.
Well, I mentioned the fastballs he got earlier, and he gets a slider right down Broadway. And it just kept carrying a 3-run bomb to right center field. Great at bat for John Ryan Murphy.
Gardner takes a strike. So Glenn Perkins blows his first save of the year, and if you're going to blow one, well, he's blown it in style. Couple of home runs, 4 hits in the innings for the Yankees. Yankees were trailing 5-0 at one point in this game. Two-one pitch, and it's hit to left field. Robinson is there, and that's out number 1, or make it 2. And speaking of number 2, that is the second blown save for Perkins this year, the all-star closer. So he's tasted that before, but maybe not in this style. So a correction on his efforts as a closer this year. Well, that smile might not come off the face of John Ryan Murphy all night long. First pitch to Drew is high and inside for a ball. The Yankees closer, Andrew Miller, will get up. Ground ball, and it's towards the middle in the center field for a base hit, a 2-out single. First hit of the night for Stephen Drew. And with the pitch count reaching 20 for Perkins, Joe Vavra, the bench coach who took over for Paul Molitor, who was thrown out of the ball game, is now going to come out and take out the Twins closer and go to the bullpen. So a rally by the Yankees continues here in the ninth. Career of Alex Rodriguez, the last August 14th, also April 26th. That was against the Angels. I think all three of those were off Bartolo Colon. August 17th against the Blue Jays. He was with the Rangers. And April 16th at, I guess, Rogers Center in those days. That was against the Jays. So Alex Rodriguez with a big night and also a big home run off the bat of John Ryan Murphy. Jacoby Ellsbury facing Ryan O'Rourke, and the left-hander deals. And did he swing? Yes, he did, says Laz Diaz. And it's a ball and a strike on the Yankee center fielder. He's 1 for 4 tonight. Just the 6th appearance of the season for O'Rourke. And this ball is popped up to the left side of the infield. It's Plouffe, the third baseman, calling. He puts it away. But the Yankees with a major rally here in the 9th inning. They score 4 times. Last night the Twins hit 4 home runs. Today the Yankees have hit 4. 3 off the bat of Alex Rodriguez, and then capped off by a 3-run shot by John Ryan Murphy. It's 8-5 Yankees.
by Cigna, together all the way, and by Kia. Sign it and drive it sales event. Well, the Yankees have gone to their closer here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Torrey Hunter, of course, the veteran leader of the Minnesota Twins, trying to pick up his guys here, and their valuable closer, the All-Star, Len Perkins, just saying, hey, hang in there, guy. And meanwhile, Andrew Miller trying to close this one out for the Yankees. And he'll get the top of the order. Miller deals, and the first pitch is in there for a call strike.
Well, just like Perkins had to go through the middle of the lineup for the Yankees, and he paid the price. Miller, the same thing. Dangerous Dozier at the top.
You can see that Miller is perfect in his save opportunities this year. 22 for 22. Breaking ball. That's in there for a call strike. The Yankees leading by 3 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. They were down at one time 5-0. They got a run in the 4th, 3 in the 7th, and then 4 in the 9th. Dozier is 1 for 2. He's also walked twice. Called strike 3. Miller with a sweeping slider gets Dozier looking.
Well, a good start. You keep Dozier off the bases. You see the slider, it's elevated. John Ryan Murphy brings it down a little bit. They get the call from Jeff Nelson. Good start here in the 9th.
One down for Aaron Hicks. As we take a look at the call, 3rd strike on Dozier. Hicks is 2 for 4 with a 2-run homer and a single. He scored twice. He'll take a pitch for a call strike. It appeared earlier in this game that Tommy Milone was coasting for the Minnesota Twins. That pitch misses the inside corner, 1-1. He allowed just 1 hit through the first 4 innings. That was a home run by Alex Rodriguez.
Well, Kenny, when you have comeback games like this, and it's not over yet, but there's always an unsung hero right in the middle of it, and it's Adam Warren.
Yeah.
And stabilizing it after Sabathia was taken out of the game. Give your boys a chance to come back.
Hit hard, but Headley has it. He straightens up, throws across the diamond. Twins are down to their last out. You know, not only did Warren come in, he came in with the bases loaded and picked up a strikeout to end the Twins' threat. That was in the 6th. And if the Yankees hold on and win this one, Warren would get the win in relief. Here's Trevor Plouffe, who tonight is 0 for 4. Strike 1 call over the outside corner. Warren has gotten 2 outs on 7 pitches. Should say Miller has gotten 2 outs on 7 pitches. Low and inside, 1-1. 96 miles an hour. All smiles now on the Yankee bench. It wasn't that way in the early going. Number foul, and it's 1-2. Twins down to their last strike. Trailing after 8 innings, the Yankees were 1-37 this year. Broken bat, roller to 3rd. Headley. And there it is. The Yankees come back and win this one. Home run hitting by Alex Rodriguez and John Ryan Murphy get the comeback. Perkins, tough luck loser. As the Yankees have evened up this series at a game apiece in comeback style. Miller picks up his 23rd consecutive save of the year. He's now perfect in those situations. And it's high fives all around by the Yankees in the middle of the diamond.
And a win tomorrow would give them this series 2-1. 8 runs, 10 hits, 4 home runs by the Yankees tonight, 3 of them by Alex Rodriguez. And what a comeback. It looked like this one might be headed for the loss column, but fueled by Alex, some good relief pitching, and a home run by John Ryan Murphy. The Yankees come back and win it by a score of 8-5. And pretty soon we'll be tossing it down to the field.